with Tater there in mind, how do you think y'all kind of just hit it off and become so? Was he like a mentor type thing, or was it like y'all didn't talk about that kind of thing?
I'll tell you exactly. And, and you were asking about like some of the Williams family. All of it has been in an organic way. I've never chased it. That's like Sam, like Hillary, just meeting her randomly. And it's just come together, and it's just comfortable. It's right. And with little Jimmy, I met him when I was sound engineer for Bill Anderson from the Opry. I took that gig after my Kroger gig. And, we're talking 1998 through 2001. So many of those legends were still around, like Porter Wagoner, little Jimmy. And we did a lot of package shows where there may be 5 to 7 artists on the show. And little Jimmy was on a lot of our shows. So after everybody else would go to bed, we'd be at the hotel. He would just sit in the bar and have a glass of wine. And I would just sit there with him and I love talking to him like an old granddad. I didn't ever look at him like, oh, this is little Jimmy Dickens and the Rhinestones. And I love that little Jimmy, but I love the little Jimmy that just wore his little button ups out of his, jeans and his little hat, not his stage hat, but his little straw hat, and just the sweet man that was so funny off stage, maybe even funnier off stage, if that's possible. And he just loved life. He loved Christmas time. He loved decorating. He was like a kid. I helped him many times decorate his outside of his home. And he was like, well, we need to go to Big Lots. We need to go to Kmart. And his wife would be like, Jimmy, we have enough. No, I need to check on. And I mean, really the spirit of a child. And I think that's why he lived to be 94, because, I mean, of course he loved what he did. He loved going to the Grand Ole Opry, but he loved going to casinos. He didn't spend a lot of money, but I mean, he just loved to play slots and just sat there and loved Christmas time, loved, never forget, I remember being at a show and he would like share little moments like what I'm about to tell. One day we were at a show and he said, Minnie Pearl told me one time, she said, just go out and love the audience and they'll love you back if you love them and really show that and really mean it.
Wow.
And, he would share little things like that. And I remember going with him to a show over in, I think, the Georgia Mountain Fair, and we ended up getting lost, and I didn't want to tell him I was lost. After about 30 minutes, he looked up, under his head. He said, believe you're lost, aren't you, Bobby? I mean, it's just funny. I mean, and when he said things like that, it was so much funnier than it probably really is. But boy, do I miss him. I took him to the Grand Ole Opry the last time he performed, never dreaming it was his last. In the last year of his life, if I were in town, I would drive him out there. Wow. And it was just such a thrill to be with him. And I remember just simple things like getting on I-65 off Concord Road where he lived, and traffic would be just dry. People would be driving. Good Lord, goodness. I mean, look at them. They're going 120, just funny little things like that. And I remember the last time I took him to the Opry, it was at the Ryman during the holidays. And he looked up at me and he said, Bobby, you don't know about missing someone until you've missed them for over 60 years. He said, I miss Hank Williams as much today as I did in 1953. Now that's...
Man.
That's really something.